can see it, I can see it, I can see it on your pretty face. I can see it, I can see it, I can see it on your pretty face. That heartbreak.
Is it about control? Tell me, I wanna know. Have you been burned before on some other chariot? I make the cross town round faster than anyone. Let the reins take themselves and fly like a loaded gun. Faster, faster, free. Coming close to me.
I can see it, I can see it, I can see it on your pretty face. I can see it, I can see it, I can see it on your pretty face. That heartbreak, you want me like a vampire. I can see it on your pretty face. I could be that new toy.
He broke your heart again. You're washed up in the city of sin, so you washed up in the city of sin, so you washed up in the city of sin, so you
Is it about control? Or are you just a restless soul? Burned by some former king or some other small town scene? That's not my kind of love. I'll race for fame and
Hello, everybody. I hope you are doing so very swell today. All right, hey. Oh, stretchy. Oh, it is stretch before street. Oh, I'm stretching out. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Oh, can I get my shoulder to pop? Nope. Dang it. All right. So, still adjusting definitely to the new schedule now that my husband's work schedule has pretty much flipped completely upside down. This one is definitely better and more preferred than working during the day rather than evening into the night. That's for sure. But it's still, you know, an adjustment. We're getting there. Some of us quicker than others. But anyway, today we are playing more Loop Hero. I hope we're going to be able to defeat the second boss today. Maybe, hopefully, possibly. Keep your fingers crossed. Cross your fingers, cross your arms, cross your legs, cross your eyes. Cross everything that can be crossed. We're going to do our best. And what else is going on? Tomorrow, I believe we'll be back with Ultimate Modded Skyrim. I almost said Stardew. Getting a little ahead of myself because Ultimate Modded Stardew Valley isn't until Sunday, where we will in fact be having our season finale of sorts. Because we'll be taking a bit of a break. Alright, music, shh. Go ahead and load up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, here we go. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're doing so great. It's swell and fine. Okay. as usual, as with last time, I have been playing a touch off stream just to grind resources and all that good stuff. Still, no, I'm not super into the grindy shit. So I'd rather just kind of do that in my own free time. I don't find it's very entertaining to do sometimes, especially not to watch. So just going around and round and round and round through loops, that's kind of more of a chiller time. And I forgot closed captions again. Hold, sorry. It's okay, we're doing so great. So fine. I'm still not used to streaming before freaking 9 AM, yeesh. Okay. Wait, but oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, we're fine. Swell. Good, good. Okay. Is there anything we need to I mean, I don't think there's anything we really need to change. We're just kind of doing the same old, same old. Nothing we can currently upgrade. Is there anything we can build? I don't want to build the farms yet. Ooh, I kind of want to get the smithy, because right at the start, having the basic warrior gear, that is nice. Even though, like, it doesn't take long to get stuff. But having some stuff right off the bat is kind of... it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. And we also unlock the ability to craft tools for the camp if the supply depot is built, which I think, yes, it is, along with 2 warehouses. Alright, so let's put you here. Sure. Oh my god, this gentleman. Hello, sir. By the anvil of the 7 seas, if it isn't a little forge. Yar! Oh, he's got like a pirate voice. Yar! Yeah, I was way off on that first one. You've no idea how I miss the heat of the furnace and the smell of the metal. We'll have some prepper tools now, laddie. You have my word. You'll even have something for those journeys of yours. You're quite enthusiastic. Something tells me you're no stranger to the sailor's craft. Ah, shiver me hammers! How'd you know? It doesn't matter, though. You're right. Don't you worry, I'll show you these hands can hold a hammer as good as they can hold the helm in a storm, even for a dozen days in a row. You know how my pirate's voice is? They're not so good. They accidentally end up drunk most of the time. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyway, we can craft now. And we can dismantle things that we can't use. Because in our little supply doodad, I think we are mostly kind of full up. There's like some things maybe. Maybe we'll throw that there. I guess we can throw that there. Throw that there. The jewelry category especially, because it only has 2 slots. There's only so much we can do with that. So let's maybe, I guess, start dismantling some of these. Ooh. Fancy. Especially because I don't think anything we have here is particularly rare, so we might maybe go ahead, dismantle all of these. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. Swell. Oh, we can already upgrade the smithy. What do we get with an upgrade? Unlocks the Smith's Forge card. Allows you to start expeditions with basic gear for any class. Oh, that's nice. We haven't unlocked new classes yet, but I don't think we're that far off. I think definitely my priority, though, is upgrading the watchtowers. so I think perhaps we'll work on that first. Yeah. Is there anything else we want to build while we're at it? A smelter? In addition to the forge, it makes the blacksmith's life a bit better, so your life will become better too. Unlocks the Storm Temple card. Unlocks the Arsenal Golden card if the Intel Center is built. I don't think... Oh, we do have the Intel Center. I'm literally forgetting every single freaking thing I've built thus far. Okay, you know... Ooh, I just said I wanted to focus on the watchtowers, but I am tempted to build new things. Don't worry about it. I am not at all indecisive and conflicted at all times. Anyway, Yar, what a nice smelting barrel. Throw in some more coal, scrap the metal away. Hey lad, you know the secret of sturdy armor? It's the sturdy body beneath it, I can make everything sturdy, or even a simple shirt or some socks, whatever takes your fancy. You'll travel far under these sails. No storm will stop you, and you know why. 'Cause the storm will be on your side, laddie! Okay. He's very enthusiastic. I'll give him that, I suppose. So let's see what we have now in terms of cards. We have the Storm Temple, a place of worship for the ancient god of lightning. His name is long forgotten. Strikes 2 random targets in its range with lightning every 5 seconds. Lightning cannot be evaded. Effects of multiple temples can stack. So I think 2 random targets, I think that includes me. There was something we had somewhere, was it in our supply, that mentioned something about the Storm Temple? Every whole resource, regen, defense, rat walls. Why don't I remember? I swear I remember somewhere. Maybe it was one of the items that I dismantled? That sounds about right. I think that's why I didn't add it in the first place, because it was something to do with like a storm temple, and we didn't have the storm temples unlocked yet. So I decided that item was therefore useless, but now we have the storm temple unlocked and I don't have the item anymore. It's okay. I make good decisions. I'm so good at great at the video game. Anyway, so we also have the Arsenal, which I believe is our first gold card, a central hub for the true masters of Warcraft. They can teach anyone to fight with any weapon, unlocks an additional equipment slot, but reduces item quality by 15%. Ooh, that sounds very nice, though. Do we want to give that a try, perhaps? I think equipment slot is the ring. I want to say. I'm not positive. I'm sure we'll find out here shortly. I think. Let's maybe give it a try. Do we want to take the Storm Temple with us? I don't know. It seems a little risky. Well, let's go ahead and try that on for size. Ooh, yep, we do start out with basic things. There we go. And we start off with an Arsenal card. Okay, where do we put you? Let's put you right here. Ooh, I get a helmet. Oh, that sounds quite nice. I was indeed incorrect. That seems better. Retaliation damage? What? Thank you, I guess. I think, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Let's do there. Battery. We'll put you there, methinks. Yeah. Okay, we're getting a lot of grass. Ooh, a grove. Where do I want to put you? I think I shall put you there. Oh. Oh. Slightly less defense, but it has good other stuff. We'll go with that. Ring. And less damage. Don't want that. Ooh, okay. Let's get some ruins going here within the effect of the lantern. And it's only one tile up from the campfire, so most of our guard towers should hopefully be able to help with those pesky snakes. Another grove. In here, I guess. I'm waiting to see if we get a treasury. I'm holding on to these for now. Oh, there we go! Ask and you shall receive. Thank you very much. Thank you much. Much thanks. Thank. Big much thank. And there we go. Oh my god, what a fancy hat. Ooh, I'll have that. Thank you very much. I'll put you there. Because I want to do a village here. We just need the card first. And then I guess we'll start setting up for a mountain peak over here. There we go. Going alright. I said my goal for the day is hopefully to defeat the priestess. I don't know if we will. I hope we do, but to be determined. Ooh, that does more damage. Ooh, we'll hang on to the one we have for the moment, I guess. I'll put you here next to the grove. And then ideally we'll get like a blood grove at some point that'll up those up those snakes. Cut. I don't know why I do that when I choke myself a third of the time. Oh, there's my village. What I was trying to say, goal hopefully is once we get a blood grove third there, and then it can up those snakes like spaghetti noodles. Danger noodles turn into real noodles. Hopefully. That's the goal. I'll put you there. So many groves. You there, I guess? Ooh. Alright, that's good. We'll mount in the middle there and we get a cemetery. I'll put you right next to the campfire. Ooh. Yeah, I like that better. And then you... I'll put you there. Yeah. That seems fine, maybe. Back to collecting more grass. I'm actually learning to build the mountain peak just a bit off from the border, so there's more room to place more mountains and rocks for bonus things. See, I can learn and do better at the video game sometimes. Maybe. Oh. Well, that does regen. Shitballs. I do like that better. I'm a slut for health regen. What can I say? I need one more rock. I'll put you there. Do I want you there? I don't. You know what? I'll get rid of you. I don't like you. I don't like you there either. I was gonna put a blood grove there. Oh, point. I don't like any of these. I still don't like a whole lot of these. You know what? We'll do the strong aftertaste. It's still decently early in this run. And we got a good stock of potions here thanks to our supply. So maybe that will work out just swell. I don't think beacon effects stack, which is a bit disappointing. I'm gonna throw down another village. Put you there, and then we'll leave it for now, I guess. Oh, there we go. Rock. Thank you much. Ooh, another treasury. We can do the whole top row with meadows since we got the rocks here. Very swell. Ooh. Yeah, I like that. And we'll throw that there. Do I want to double up on the vampire villages? Maybe not yet. Maybe not while there's two... Yeah, maybe I'll wait for this first one to not be a ransacked village anymore. 'Cause I feel like having 2 ransacked villages on the map would be a real bad time. Oh, damn. Defense is nice. Yeah, we'll go with that one. Ooh. Swell. Oh, I see now how the regen per second is now 0.5 instead of 0.6. Because it's always in increments of 0.6. Ah, shit, dude. It's okay, it's fine. Probably. Hopefully. We'll see. Throw you there. We're good for now. Ooh! Good shield! Real good shield. Do I want to throw down one of these? Oh, yeah, it's not going to overlap there in that corner because there's already a tile there. Get shit on your ass. I have outplayed the system. I have outsmarted the system. Look at me go. Until that comes back to bite me horribly in the butt somehow. I don't know how. But with my luck, I'm sure it'll happen. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. Ooh. I think that's fine. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. I guess we can start putting these over here. There we go. Ooh, regen ring! Oh, yes, please. I like me some regen. I said, I'm a slut for health regen. I don't know what to tell y'all. Is it the best strategy? I don't know. Probably not to focus strictly on health regen. But I like it, so therefore I'm gonna keep doing it. Oh, damn. Okay. What do we got? Ooh. Yeah, this one is better, even though it doesn't have health regen. Okay, fine. Well, I like that one, though. Ooh, that one's nice. I'll have that. Give me a shield. Look at that. I'm all shielded up. Excellent. Ooh, okay. So now we have Counsellands. Do I dare? I think I do. I don't have a lantern there, though. So, yeah, that might come back to bite me in the butt pretty darn quick with maximum enemies available. Ugh. I kind of want to put a grove here. Or blood grove, I should say, but I don't have a grove available. Shoot. You there. You. There. Sure. Even though it overlaps a little bit. It'll be fine, probably. That's much better. Ooh, that's so much better. Gimme. We have so much health regen. We have 5.2 health regen per second. Holy balls. That's so good. I'm just close to base. You know what? Maybe that one's fine where it is. I guess I'll let the goblin camp stay for now. If it starts annoying me, though, I'm gonna oblivion it. Don't think I won't. Maybe wanna... Yeah, I'll put one there. It's only every 2 that it spawns a bandit camp, so as long as we keep it to 3, then we should hopefully be okay. Because I don't want to deal with too many bandits, because they kind of suck. It is tempting. Oh no, my finger slipped. Whoops. Oh darn, what have I done? I say that jokingly now, probably before too long I'll mean it for real. Put you there. I want to throw down another ruins. I don't know. Maybe maybe here? Maybe not yet. We'll to be determined. Oh, a treasury. Hot shit. Thank you very much. Holy balls. We're doing pretty okay. Not to jinx it, but so far we're doing pretty fine. Oh, I can do the thing I wanted to do with the blood grove here. This may be a bad idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I've never been known for making good decisions here. Let's be so for real and honest. Really collecting the ruins cards down here. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't like dealing with so many frickin' snakes. Not a fan. Oh. Oh, yeah. That is way better. I'll take that. I think, ideally, I would like to put the road lantern either here or here, so it double overlaps onto one of the ransacked villages. This one's the oldest, so we'll throw that there. Because we gotta do more loops to convert that one in particular. It is very tempting to throw down more village cards. But A, that's more bandits we have to deal with. And B, the quests make the particular enemies it's assigned to have much more health. And the more we stack those, the more difficult these runs are going to get. Oh shit, I accidentally nicked my Oblivion card. Balls. It's fine, maybe. Hopefully, we'll see. May come back to horribly bite me in the ass at some point. To be determined. Yeah, I think thus far. I think from here on I should probably avoid more villages. That would be the smart thing to do. You know, it's not the smart thing to do. Probably that. I'm gonna do it anyway. Listen, I can only make so many I can only make so many decently smart decisions within a short period of time before I just gotta go and do something real dumb. Oh, I feel like I should have put these here. Oh well, it's fine. We'll live. Maybe. Or we won't. Who's to say? Ooh, a treasury again! Oh, damn. Oh, Blade of Dawn! Yes, please! I like the Blade of Dawn. Woo! Very swell, very nice. Do much like... Oh, God. Oh, we have so much shit. That does a bunch more damage, and I do like that. I'll put that there. Ooh, that might be better. That is definitely better in terms of damage. Shit, but my health regen! My safety blanket health regen. I'm gonna get rid of you. I don't like having so many goblin camps. We are a little tanky, I'm not gonna lie. Which I'm not upset about. Just, you know, I would ideally like to get to the boss sooner rather than later, because the longer this goes on, the beefier the enemies are going to get. Oh, look at that! Even more health regen per second! Well, don't mind if I do. Ooh. Yeah. Oh my god, 8.2 health regen per second. What do you even mean? I think this might be the most regen per second I've ever had. Oof. Ow. Things still kind of hurt though. Yeah, I'm real glad I took that more potions equals more damage thing when I did. I'll keep the one I have for now. Yeah, this one seems better. We'll do that. I'll lock that just in case. I might change my mind about it. I don't know, it's times like these I'm a little indecisive specifically on what I want to have. Because, you know, I can recognize my fixation on health regen per second might not always be the most useful. Do I want to throw down another blood grove? I'm not sure that I do. Maybe. Those guys hit pretty hard, though. Oh, I may regret this tremendously. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. Swell. Oh, maybe I did want to put some here. Okay, you know what? It's fine. I know what I'm doing. Maybe. Sometimes. Possibly. Okay. I mean, we're doing pretty alright. Thus far, I think we have yet to make it down to half health. So, we're hopefully fine. Oh god, another treasury! What do you even mean? That I can't fill them all! What are you talking about? There, sure. Yeah, nothing else I want to throw down, I think. Ooh, antique shelf. Let me see, I'll put you there, I'll put you there. We're almost there, come on, can I just like throw down some things real quick? Just, oh my god, come on. Don't do me like this. You. You! There we go! Okay, now it's time to lock in. Oof. Ooh, regret. Regret. So much regret with having so many of those guys. Oof. There, okay. Oh. Health is hanging in there, kinda. There. I don't know what good that's gonna do me. Okay. Sheesh. Throw down as much help as I can get. Oh, why did you have to go there? All of these spaces over here that I've already passed, and you had to put it in the tiny little stretch before the boss? What do you mean? Fuck you. Just go on, dick me. Just go on, dick me over. Why don't you? That's fine. Oh boy, oh. All right, here we fucking go. Hello, ma'am. Could you please stop? I refuse. To arms! Oh boy. I mean, this is probably about as prepared as we can get. So, hopefully this is alright. We got shields, we got a good amount of health. Yeah, shields are down. Oh. She might kill us before we could kill her. Oh, I don't know. These mirrors might kind of fuck me over a little bit. Maybe? Oh, it's so close. This is too goddamn close. Oh no. Oh no. Every part of me is clenched. Oh god. Oh. Ah! Oh, fuck yes. It hurts so much. Each time like the first. I still can't get used to it. What do you mean? This is the first time we've killed you. Yeah, dying isn't very nice. That's what the whole world feels right now. Not a great feeling, as you noticed. Now you... Wait. What do you mean each time? Yeah, I mean, like, we can go back and fight the bosses repeatedly, but in this particular playthrough, it was the first time we've killed her. This is not the first time. My faith in the Almighty brings me back to life again and again for the sake of my great mission, to spread His word and preach humility, obedience, and acceptance of the salvation He offers. And each time I fail, no peaceful conversation, only the lifeless bodies of the heretics, or my own lifeless body. Then why can't you see the desire to survive is a natural part of this world? I don't know how or when it happened, but you seem to have misunderstood the motives of the Almighty. Misunderstood? Me? That's impossible. I have faith. I am the faith. I don't need to know or prove anything. And you, what are you even trying to achieve? Nothing will ever be like it was anymore. Not even close. I don't know, maybe it will. I can still try. Positive attitude. You're just a fool, that's what you are. We'll meet again. Just let me rest for a while. Ellipses. Looks like she's gone. I can hardly believe her corpse could ever come back to life, but even if it will, I should still give her a proper burial. Well, good for you, buddy. All right, we get one reward. Let's see. Skilled Architect, the hero gets 8 times the loop experience each time a map tile is placed. Ooh. Shield of Faith. Each time the hero kills an enemy, he'll receive a stained glass window that has a 20% chance to absorb one hit and shatter. Stacks up to 3 times. Ooh, I do really like that. Or post-mortem toll, 30% chance to get a random basic resource chunk upon killing an enemy. What I don't know is if we go back and kill bosses we've already previously killed, do we get to pick another reward? That I don't actually know. We might have to experiment with that. But I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of like the Shield of Faith. It's kind of like stealing the priestess's ability. You know, that seems nice. Anyway, let's go on, get the fuck out of here. Thank you very much. Hui. Welcome back. Is that a piece of glass sticking out of your shoulder? Don't worry about it. What? Oh, I didn't even notice it. Not that my pain tolerance is too high. I'm a bit shocked, to tell the truth. I met a crazy zealot, stained glass windows, halos, angel silhouettes all around. A holy jamboree, you could say. Let me guess. We're all sinners and now we're doomed to face the holy wrath at the end of times, and only in death shall we find salvation? More like the god has decided to erase his creation. It has to be done. Please remain patient. Please hold while we process your request. Well, that makes some sense. If you think about it, who else would have the power to do such a thing? I disagree. I don't know much about being a god, but I think he'd be able to do it in an instant, putting it simply. We'd all be dead already. We wouldn't even exist now. Even if the priestess was right, it's not a reason to give up. Excuse me! What the fuck are you? From outer space, I guess. What was that? Did you hear that? Yeah, and it felt horrible. Like someone's coming to get me. Oh no. Oh. Oh no.
I'm in danger.
Anyway, let's go on, do some upgrades. Everything is great and swell and fine. Yeah. I don't have any room. You there, I guess. Sure. I feel like I gotta sneeze. Nope, she's shy. Okay, do we have... Ooh, it is tempting to go try the next one. But I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't expecting to defeat the priestess so quick, so we may go ahead and call it there for the day. I know that was quite a short stream. So, wasn't expecting to end so quick. But I'm not gonna lie, I am quite tired. And it is sort of easier. This is just some weird, like, content creator type bullshit. But for future YouTube video purposes, I'm trying to, like, keep it to one video per thing before I defeat the boss, you know? Like, we have, like, in the first video, it's gonna be all the way through until we defeat the first guy. That skull guy we fought, and then the second video is going to be all the way until we fight the priestess. And then if we keep going, I'm going to have to keep this VOD as part of the third video. It's some bullshit that I don't expect anyone to understand, but just trust it'll make things just a little bit easier for me and my hard drive storage space. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for some Ultimate Modded Skyrim. And Sunday, Ultimate Modded Stardew, yeah? I don't know. If perhaps I feel so inclined, I was gonna say maybe we'll do like a second stream later for co-working. I was tempted to switch over, but I'm not exactly prepared to do it at the moment. And like I said, I am pretty tired. Sleep has not been my friend lately. I'm thinking about it. You know what? Maybe we will. Maybe we'll do some co-working. Even if it's just for a little bit, since we defeated the boss. Okay, let me... Alright. Let's see. Let me go ping the Discord. Boss Booty has been thoroughly kicked, switching to a bit of co-working to wind down. Yeah! I don't even have a video picked out for what we're gonna watch today. Boss Booty kicked. Working to wind down. Oh my god, Gunna, hello! Congratulations on- wait, oh, where's the button? Ah! Congratulations on being your first beautiful beat of the day! How the heck you doing, Gunna? It's good to see you. I hope you're doing so extraordinarily swell. I'm doing pretty okie dokie, thank you for asking. Just finished up some Loop Hero where we kind of killed the second boss on our first try of the day. So now we're just kind of like, okay, well I guess we'll switch to something else. Just do some co-working for a bit. Whee. You know what, Gunna, since you're here and I'm unprepared, maybe you can pick our co-working video that we watch. Because I don't have one immediately in mind. I have a playlist that I can look through. But I haven't exactly been going in order. I don't know what this means, that's fair. Basically, for Gunna and anyone else who may be new here to our co-working streams, basically what we do is we just hang out and watch a YouTube video. Like, you can either watch along or grab a project or something. Because the gist of co-working is kind of... Another word for it is, like, body doubling. Where we just chill with, like, like, some people do it on camera. I do it with a PNG tuber because I cannot be bothered. But just having, like, something to watch along, chat along with while you're working on something. Maybe... Ooh, do we want to watch something about Game of Thrones? Okay, you know what, Gunna? I'll let you pick our topic. Do we want to watch something about... It's going to be a Lindsay Ellis video, I think. Do we want to watch something about... A video essay about Game of Thrones, the Cats live-action movie, or the Omegaverse? I'll let you pick. Gotta be the Cats live action? Well, Gunna has spoken. Oop, no, don't play yet. Okay, there we go. That actually kind of works out because the Game of Thrones one and the Omegaverse both have sequels that we're probably not going to get to today. Okay. Let me real quick. Because we want to give credit where credit is due to the creator whose video we are watching today. Okay. We're no longer watching Jenny Nicholson today. We are watching Lindsay Ellis, who was unfortunately driven largely off the internet, tragically, because people suck. Okay. Alright, let's do that. Co-working. There we go. Alright, let's pin that to the chat. Music. Shh. Oh, I didn't even load up. I haven't fucking loaded Spirit City yet. Oh my god, I'm so unprepared for co-working. Usually I get all this shit done ahead of time. It's okay, it's fine. We're not gonna worry about it. Okay. There we go. Wee! Alright, I think we're good. Ka-chow! Oh, no, wait, hold up. Ka-chow! Okay. Just hold on. Just take it. Like I said, it's fine. There. Wise cats. Okay. So, as I mentioned, for our co-working streams, we watch along a video. We have these, we do it in such a way with filters and a smaller window and my shitty commentary over it and sounds overlapping and all that to protect against copyright. Not that I'm necessarily concerned that the creators of the videos we're watching will come after me for copyright, but in videos, especially this one, they often use like movie clips, music, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, it's just less of a hassle for me. Y'all, please make sure you support the creators of the videos we're watching on their original channels by watching their videos in full on their actual channel on the actual page. Again, without my goofy ass commentary or the filters and all that we put over it. Today we are watching, as chosen by the amazing, wonderful, fantastic Gonna Get Your, who we absolutely need to play Dead by Daylight with at some point in the near future. I swear we'll schedule it at some point. We'll do it, I promise, eventually, one of these days. We are watching Why Is Cats by Lindsay Ellis. Alright, I have closed captions on already. Anniversary, trust. When is the actual anniversary? Like, I know that the anniversary event comes like around June, but I never know when the actual anniversary itself is. I can't remember days. 14th? Oh, that's 2 whole days. Ah, shit, dude. Event starts Tuesday, and Jason. Ooh, Jason, tell me what you're chasing. Okay, so then we definitely gotta play soon. Like, let me peek at my schedule real quick. Like, mayhaps next Saturday or the Saturday after? Maybe the Saturday after. Like the 22nd, because next week I have some appointments. And I don't know how that's going to be. So maybe Saturday the 27th? Tentatively? We'll chat about it. We got time. Anyway. Why Is Cats by Lindsay Ellis. We go.
I listened to it all and I said, Andrew, is this something
We'll go
I don't
post
get?
it in the DVD chat so I don't
Queen
forget. Because
Victoria,
otherwise
she's
I'm
the
going to forget.
main cat, and Disraeli and Gladstone are other cats, and then there are, poor cats, and am I missing this? And he took a terrible, painful, long pause and said, Hal, it's about cats. And we never discussed it again.
In 2012, New York Times food critic Pete Wells published a review of Food Network personality and human can of Bud Light Lime
Right on.
Right on! Ah!
Guy Fieri's massive Times Square restaurant, Guy Fieri's American Kitchen and Bar.
Can I just say real quick, I was one of those people that for some reason had an unexplained dislike of Guy Fieri for a long time. And I couldn't even really like articulate why necessarily. And then it turns out he's just a good, goofy dude. And I felt like the world's biggest asshole. Like, especially with like some of these other big celebrity chefs. Like, a Guy Fieri, he's perfectly fine. He even like donates to charities and stuff. Like I remember during COVID, he was donating to like restaurant specific charities or had set one up or something like that to help like restaurant workers during COVID or something. Anyway.
Fittingly located right across the street from the Majestic Theater, which at the time had hosted Phantom of the Opera on Broadway for nearly 25 years. And while some 8 years later we've come full circle to where we've all decided that Guy Fieri is both prime meme fodder and also good now,
People shit on that dude all the time.
Case
And
in
as
point.
far as I can tell,
Oh, no.
all he ever did was follow his dreams.
2012 was a different
my
time,
PNG tuber
and
done
Wells's
borked.
review
Hold up.
pulled no punches. Guy Fieri, have you eaten at your new restaurant in Times Square? Did panic grip your soul as you stared into the whirling hypno wheel of the menu, where adjectives and nouns spin a crazy vortex? When you saw the burger described as Guy's Pat LaFrida Custom Blend All Natural.
Okay, hold. We gotta fix the borkening. Hold. I don't know why it does this sometimes. Sometimes it's either delayed or it just stops working entirely for a bit. It's okay, it's fine. We just restart and keep our fingers crossed. Come on. There we go. Okay, we're back in business, babes. There we go.
Natural Creekstone Farm Black Angus Beef Patty, L-top, lettuce, tomato, onion, and pickle, SMC, super melted cheese, and a slathering of donkey sauce on garlic buttered brioche. Did your mind touch the void for a minute? Hey, did you try that blue drink, the one that glows like nuclear waste? The watermelon margarita? Any idea why it tastes like some combination of radiator fluid and formaldehyde? What is going on at this new restaurant of yours, really? And in a way that food reviews seldom do, Wells's piece blew up and went viral, with everyone sharing it to their Facebook and Twitter timelines, cheering and celebrating the epic ponage of Guy Fieri, that sun-drenched, frosted-tipped buffoon, by one of the most widely circulated newspapers in the world. And while rubbernecking trash fires has been a time-honored tradition as long as civilization has been a thing, the commodification of our need to see trash being eviscerated by the critic intelligentsia has become an ever-evolving industry. One can, after all, easily elevate their online brand with a well-timed takedown.
There's no mist in the galaxy! Ding! That's not Earth! Fake! Ding!
And with Tom Hooper's 2019 Trainwreck adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical of the same name, there was blood in the water.
Watching Cats is like stumbling upon an unholy and heretofore unknown genre of porn. Every time these horny fur demons tongue a milk bowl and start moaning, I was certain the FBI would raid the theater.
Glad to report that Cats is everything you'd hoped for and more. A mesmerizingly ugly fiasco that makes you feel like your brain is being eaten by a parasite. A viewing experience so stressful that it honestly brought on a migraine.
Surprise, Hank Green. Anyway, so fun fact, I was one of those, I don't know if I want to say unfortunate people. Maybe. Anyway, I saw the Cats movie in theaters. And I remember when I went, the theater that I was in was mostly empty because it was like, I think about a month after it came out. Like I was real slow to go see it. But there was one girl like 2 seats down from me. And for those who are unfamiliar with my lore, I was a theater kid in high school, so I was already decently familiar with Cats. I wasn't like super into it because like a lot of the concept of it was just kind of strange to me. But I think the girl who sat a couple seats down from me in the theater had... Oh god, y'all hear Lago's doorbell. I swear, he doesn't have to go out. He's just doing it for attention. Anyway, I think she was in a similar boat because our reactions were pretty on par. Like, they were almost exactly the same as the movie went on. Like, it was just 95%. Well, no, it was, we'll say, like 50% confusion, 45% sheer horror, and then 5% weeping uncontrollably, largely when Jennifer Hudson was singing Memories, because that was like really the highlight of the whole damn thing. Anyway, so this is fun. It was a fun time.
Can you make a movie so bad that the Academy takes back your Best Director Oscar? Asking for a Tom Hooper.
By the time I left the theater, I wasn't even sure what a real cat looked like anymore.
To assess Cats as good or bad feels like the entirely wrong axis on which to see it. It is, with all affection, a monstrosity.
I am not a cat person. Second off, after
Jenny
watching
Nicholson.
this frankly mortifying film adaptation of Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, I'm not altogether sure I am a movie person anymore either.
Finally, a whole new generation can discover that Cats the Musical is 2 hours of human-feline hybrids without genitals having no-touch sex and begging for death via song.
I mean, that's literally what it is. That's what the stage production is and the whole thing. That's not exclusive to the movie. I'm just saying. It's literally like all of BreadTube came together for this voice cast, which I love.
It is the worst thing to happen to cats since dogs.
Side note, I'm still not 100% sure what BreadTube is. I think we haven't watched H-Bomber Guy's video about the plagiarism thing yet. We've watched a bunch of his videos, but the plagiarism one is like 4 hours long, so we haven't watched it yet. I can literally hear Lago just broke his doorbell, so I'm gonna have to go fix that here in a second. But he mentions at some point in it, and he's like, I don't even know what that is. I just woke up one day and people were telling me I was in it. I thought it was just the bread side of YouTube. I don't know what that... Okay, you know what? We're going on a side tangent. We're gonna figure out what this is. We're gonna learn. Chat, you're along for this ride with me. What is BreadTube? BreadTube, sometimes called LeftTube, is a loose and informal group of online personalities who create video content, including video essays and live streams. So, like liberal video essayists, basically. So, where does the bread come in? There's literally a whole Wikipedia article on it. There's a Wikipedia article on BreadTube. Like, I'm not shitting you. There's the link. What? Yeah, featuring creators like Lindsay Ellis, ContraPoints, H-Bomber Guy, Abigail Thorne. I've never watched any of Abigail Thorne's stuff, which I probably should. Pat Black, Hassan Piker, oh no. Destiny, double oh no. Got a lot of familiar names in here. Okay, yeah, this is fascinating. The term BreadTube derives from Peter I'm gonna mispronounce this, I'm so sorry. Peter Kropotkin's The Conquest of Bread, a book explaining how to achieve anarchist communism and how an anarchist communism society would function. Many BreadTube channels started in an effort to combat anti-social justice warrior and alt-right content that gained traction in the mid-2010s. So, literally, BreadTube is just video essayists who say that Nazis are bad. Okay, I have no problem with this. Okay.
Cats is pure nightmare fuel. The rejects from the island of Dr. Moreau putting on a show is bad enough, but add to that more crotch shots than a Michael Bay movie and every imaginable pun, and that still won't prepare you for the hellscape that is children's faces CGI'd onto mice.
For the most part, Cats is both a horror and an endurance test. A dispatch from some neon-drenched netherworld where the ghastly is inextricable from the tedious.
I felt the light inside me slowly fading.
Oh God, my eyes!
Are you blind when you're born? Can you see in the dark?
DMC,
I
Daddy,
was one of
please,
the very first
please don't
people
hit
to
me
see
for
Cats,
having
the movie, the
Cats
musical,
music.
if Tom Hooper is to be believed, some 24 hours after the film was even finished. This was not because I'm the world's biggest Cats stan, or because I'm just that important. It was because I cajoled my friend who got invited to a critic screening to let me be her +1. See, after weeks of reveling in the pure unintentional Salvadorian madness that was the trailer, I was keen to be one of the first. I got my complimentary cat ears, they gave us Cats temporary tattoos and Cats champagne, presumably to help black out what we were about to see, and we settled in for the ride of a lifetime. There were two types.
Gonna need a lot more champagne than just the one glass. I had Ben watch Cats just a couple years ago, I think, or a few years ago. I can't remember if it was before or after we moved, but it was a time. We got decently sloshed and watched it. It wasn't too bad of a time. It's definitely Cats is a much better experience when you're under the influence of some type of mind-altering substance, whatever floats your boat in that particular category. I think sloshed, yeah, sloshed, tipsy. Well, more than tipsy. Schnockered, shit-faced. Pick your vocab word of choice. But I love so much how Tomothy Hooper, thank you Sideways for that nickname, by the way. We'll watch probably some of Sideways' videos at some point in the future. Sideways has a video on Cats as well, which maybe we'll watch it eventually. But Tom Hooper thought he made like the film equivalent of Shakespeare with this movie. Like, it was literally submitted for Oscar like consideration. Like, dude. That's the part that gets me sometimes.
Of people at this screening. People who were familiar with Andrew Lloyd Webber's Cats, and people who until now had lived in blissful ignorance.
Meow.
I was, in fact, sandwiched right between two of these people. To my left sat Angie Hahn, critic for Mashable.com and who knew all about cats, and to my right, Emily Vanderwerf, critic at large for Vox.com and the person I cajoled into taking me, and who, like me, was familiar with cats. Emily spent more or less the whole film making this face, and Angie spent the whole film making this face. Both of them deeply enjoyed the experience, for the record. Maybe not the film itself, but definitely the experience.
That's the whole thing. That's been the most common thing that people can say with any sort of positive inflection, is that Cats is an experience. Which it really is. Genuinely it is.
For people who hadn't seen Cats before, the question seemed to be,
And say a cat is not a dog.
is this it? Is this what Cats is? Is this what Cats has been the whole time? And on that day I was like, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much Cats. What did you expect?
And say a cat is not.
Oh my god, yes, that is Dame Judi Dench. It is indeed. Gunna, have you never seen the Cats movie? Which, I mean, like, understandable if you haven't. I don't think... Honestly, I'm not sure anyone really should if they value their sanity. But... You've never seen it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Who was in Cats? Let's see. Judi Dench. Patrick Stewart. Taylor Swift. Yes, that Taylor Swift. She was in it. Jason Derulo. Rebel Wilson. Idris Elba. James Corden. I'm not joking. I'm 1000% serious. Like, hold up. Let me literally Google Cats cast. 2019 film. Okay, let's see. Oh, not Patrick Stewart. Ian McKellen, excuse me. I get those two confused sometimes. Their names are basically interchangeable. Not surprised about James Corden. Yeah. Judi Dench, Idris Elba, Jennifer Hudson, Rebel Wilson, James Corden, Jason Derulo, Ian McKellen, Taylor Swift. I think those are all the more notable named people. Which, I think this point is made in a Sideways video, so maybe we'll have this reiterated whenever we get to his video at some point. But Tom Hooper, before this, he did the movie Les Miserables, based on the musical, of course, and that starred Anne Hathaway and Hugh Jackman. And then when Tom Hooper was trying to get Cats made, he wanted Anne Hathaway and Hugh Jackman to come back and basically make Les Miserables 2 Electric Boogaloo, more or less. But what's funny is that Taylor Swift had auditioned for one of the roles in Les Miserables, and she didn't get it because the role, it was for Eponine, had gone to the amazing, wonderful, fantastic, can do no wrong Samantha Barks, who literally played Eponine in, I think it was the 25th anniversary concert revival thing. Basically, Samantha Barks had experience with that character before, so they brought her on instead of Taylor Swift. But then for Cats, they were like, oh yeah, sure, we'll bring Taylor Swift on. This is fine. Everything is great and swell and fine. Oh, and apparently I'm looking through, like, little tidbits. Judi Dench was cast in the original stage musical of Cats, but had been forced to pull out due to a torn Achilles tendon. Oh. Fascinating. Anyway... There's so much lore behind Cats. It's fucking crazy. Absolutely insane. Yes, that is a word for it.
And if you follow me on Twitter, you know I spent most of my December and January obsessed with the Cats movie, which was every bit as much of a train wreck as I had hoped. And why? Even now, I honestly could not tell you. But the more time I spent on Cats and thinking about this movie, the more I had to actually confront these questions. Not just the question of why am I so fixated on this unquestionable disaster, but why is Cats? How did this become a thing? Because that the movie and the stage musical exist at all, let alone that the musical was as popular as it was, is somewhat baffling. I got so fixated on this that I started a podcast about it where I explain musicals to my friend who hates musicals. Information in the description. And of course our pilot episode was about Cats, but even there where I attempt to explain that which is Cats, I kind of failed because that question of why came up a few times.
Yeah. So it still leads to the real question, which is, who likes cats? I would argue it's kids.
I say I don't know. Like I don't know who Cats is for because I don't know anyone who's ride or die for cats.
I'm literally looking at a person who's ride or die for cats.
No, I'm not.
You can deny it all you want.
And I don't think that in that episode I answered that why question satisfactorily. And part of that is, I think, the mistake of conflating the why for the stage musical, which is almost 40 years old, kind of like me, and the why for the movie. I realize now that those two why God whys have very different answers. The first time I saw the film, I was like, well, what did you expect? This is Cats. But I'm going to have to walk back this assessment. If we are asking why this happened, and wholly conflating this with this,
Don't get cocky.
then...
Yeah, see, that's the thing. The stage musical, like, with all the dancing and stuff, like, it's weird, but it's fine. Strange, yes, but arguably good. in like all the dance numbers and like the singing and stuff and all that. So it might not float everybody's boat, but it can be good. The movie, on the other hand, well,
My Jellicle friends, we are asking the wrong questions. Cats the Musical is based on a collection of poems entitled Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, written by T.S. Eliot and published in 1939. As the poems were originally written for Eliot's young godchildren, the nature of them skews light and comedic, short and whimsical. Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber not only grew up with this book of poetry, he also just loves cats.
Hal, it's about cats.
Just big fan of cats. Nothing deep, nothing weird, just man just likes him a cat. But Lloyd Webber didn't come to the idea of turning practical cats into a show until the late 1970s. A friend had asked him if he'd be interested in composing music set to poetry, and one day, while Evita was in rehearsals, he thought of that book that his mother had read to him as a child.
My mother used to read them to me, and I always loved them, and I had them myself, and I kept them for years. I always thought that there was something about them that was very musical, I guess.
But it wasn't until he had a long liquid lunch with producer Cameron Mackintosh in 1980, however, that Cats the Stage musical became its own moving engine. But a large dance-centric show was a daring move for musical theater at the time. Cameron was already friends with acclaimed choreographer Gillian Lynne, who would ultimately choreograph the show.
The man was wonderful when he made love to me, but I hated him.
But getting the rights from T.S. Eliot's widow, or finding a director even,
Everybody thought we were mad to do a show about cats. Everybody.
But it turned out that T.S. Eliot's widow was not as hard a sell as they feared. After years of dodging requests to make Old Possum's book into an animated film from companies like Disney, she was afraid that Old Possum would turn out like Winnie the Pooh or something. Sir Horny Lloyd Webber came to her with a more novel, adult approach.
So I plucked out my courage and I said to Valerie, I said, what would, if I wanted them to be a bit like Hot Gossip? She said, Tom would have liked that.
If you're not familiar with Hot Gossip, here was their big hit at the time. Hal Prince was not available to direct this show, however.
Hal, it's about cats.
And after being passed over by multiple stage directors, Lloyd Webber and Mackintosh settled on Royal Shakespeare Company director Trevor Nunn. But right off the bat, Lloyd Webber kept running into problems of people not getting it.
All cats are jellicles, you see. This is made clear in one of the unpublished poems.
Yes. But all the other cats are jellicle as well.
All cats are jellicle cats, fundamentally. You see, dogs are pollicle dogs, and cats are jellicle cats.
Cats is more like a revue than a traditional plot-driven musical in its format, which isn't a surprise given that it's based on a collection of poems without much connective tissue except for the whole cat thing. But it was director Trevor Nunn who suggested giving an emotional through line to the show that would give it some semblance of a story. The plot, well, if it can be said to have one, is similar to Broadway's previous longest-running show, 1975's A Chorus Line, as characters take turns singing to win a contest, and the sympathy vote goes to the one busted old lady, long in the tooth and yearning for another chance. In Cats, she's Grisabella, the glamour cat, a stinky Sally Bowles with whiskers. Along with her are a bunch of other feline hopefuls, sporting names like Munkustrap, the Rum-Tum Tugger, Skimbleshanks, the Railway Cat, Jenny Anydots, the Gumby Cat, Asparagus, the Theater Cat, A-Nut Chief, the Cancelled Cat, Nala, the Girl Boss Cat, Fieri, the Flavortown Cat, and so on. And the success of Cats was by no means a given. The ambitious
Justice
nature
for the
of the musical
Flavortown
meant
Cat.
that few theaters were willing to risk hosting it, and then when they eventually did secure the New London Theatre, saw a massive overhaul of the theatre itself just for this production. Funding was also coming up short, and Lloyd Webber had to take out a second mortgage on his home just to complete it. So Cats was, weirdly enough, an underdog passion project that Lloyd Webber risked everything for. And all of this was before the show could be considered anything remotely close to done. The writing process was a work in progress throughout previews right until opening, in no small part because figuring out the connective tissue between a bunch of poems wasn't exactly a priority for Lloyd Webber, who just wanted a bunch of people in Lycra to sing about being cats.
Hal, It's about cats.
Now the pig, although people may say what they please, is no British dog, but a heathen Chinese.
But a major issue was the lack of an emotional linchpin, the showstopper, that emotional ballad that is the keystone of every musical. Cats didn't really have one, nor did it have a character to sing it, and none of Eliot's whimsical poems really lent themselves to that sort of ballad. Said character came in the form of one of Eliot's unpublished poems, Grizabella the Glamour Cat, a poem about a sad, has-been cat that Eliot cut from his collection because, given that the collection was for children, he considered it too sad.
It was a poem that he wrote, which he thought was too sad for children. And I got it from Valerie Elliott, who was T.S. Eliot's widow.
So, Grizabella the Glamour Cat became the song that served as the character's entrance. But what would she sing? As a composer, Lloyd Webber would sometimes write a song, but not really have a home for it in whatever show he was working on. The song that would become Memory, the melody for it at least, he had written several years earlier, and was basically saving it for just such an occasion. So there was the melody, but there weren't really any cat poems that fit it. So the lyrics are inspired by, rather than directly lifted from, an Eliot poem that was not part of Old Possum, Rhapsody on a Windy Night. I say inspired by because the lyrics went through a lot of versions, one of which from Lloyd Webber's former lyricist and writing partner, Tim Rice, who had co-written with him Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Evita. Now by this point, Lloyd Webber and Rice had well and truly fallen out, even though neither of them have ever really publicly explained why. But Lloyd Webber asked him to do a pass on it. Rice was like, fine, he did, and then he was like, actually don't use my lyrics, but then they used his lyrics during previews, and he got really mad, and he threatened to sue. It was a whole thing.
I did write a lyric for Memory, and it went into the show for a couple of nights in previews, and then it was taken out and given to a lyricist chosen by the director. The director.
Eventually, it was Nunn who found the most agreeable interpretation of the poem, and lo, Cats has its signature song completed sometime during previews. And despite all of those low expectations, despite the no plot, despite the weirdness, despite the lycra, despite the hair, despite everything, by 1981, Cats had opened in London and soon swept the Olivier Awards, coming to Broadway some 18 months later, and there swept the Tonys, including Best Musical.
Okay, so the whole no plot thing, as much as I love and adore Lindsay Ellis, I do have to kind of disagree a touch there. I think Sideways in his video, I know I keep referencing the Sideways video, which we'll get to eventually, one of these days, probably. Like, it does have a plot, a flimsy one, but definitely a plot. Like, the whole thing is like a bunch of cats, like, competing to die, more or less. But the thing is that everyone sucks. You don't particularly like anybody. And the way he describes it is like with those I Want songs from most musicals, you know, that are typically present, like literally in Beauty and the Beast, when Bella's like, I want much more than this provincial life, or Ariel when she wants to be part of that world, or whatever. That's the gist of an I Want song. We're gonna get into a lot. We're gonna get into so much musical terminology and shit whenever we get to Sideways' videos. But like, literally the only I Want song is Memory. All the other songs in the musical are I Am songs, which are typically saved for side characters or even villains in musicals, which is just like describes, you know, kind of self-explanatory, like the superficial type shit. So the whole thing about Cats is it's just about the power of an I Want song, which typically comes like right at the beginning. In this case, it comes right at the end for Cats. You know, like, it's just the way he describes it is there's memory and then like an hour and a half lead up to justifying memory. Sideways is good people. Anyway.
But despite the show's success, critics were not super enamored with Cats, ripping apart the gossamer thin plot, the weird mood, the focus on dance, which according to theater professor Alison McLemore, musical theater scholars tend to be biased against. Broadway legend Elaine Stritch just walked out. Said Stritch later,
I just hated every minute of it. The cats came out through the audience, and one of them came near me. And I remember looking at it and saying, "Don't touch me." That is how much I hated this show.
But in spite of all of its
What a
strange,
cranky
gaudy,
pants.
borderline Showtime after midnight drapings and utterly befuddling story, Cats managed to amass its own army of stay-at-home moms, lonely 12-year-olds, and perverts that critics could never hope to dissuade.
It's for everybody. It's for kids. It's for adults. I've seen it about 9 times now, and every time it's better than the last.
I enjoyed it more tonight than I did 18 years ago when it first came out.
It's very exciting, you know. Different things are happening, like, you know. It's very emotional, you know.
To quote a Guardian article from last winter, there are no labored political messages in Cats, only the horny pleasures of watching the rum-tub tugger hip-thrust his way through increasingly surreal dance routines.
Cats is the best show I ever saw.
Gorgeous, simply gorgeous.
Cats was also the original blockbuster mega musical. On the business side, everything that was wrong with Cats worked to its benefit. No stars meant cast changes were not a problem. Thin story meant those lucrative foreign tourists don't miss anything. No money quote from the Times Review? Well, we don't need it. We've got this amazing poster that would only be harmed by critic quotes. Minimalism, baby. The actors also traditionally interact with the audience, which, while not much fun for Elaine Stritch, helps most theater goers lose themselves in the shamelessness of it all.
Jellicles come to the Jellicle Ball.
Nostalgia is also a factor. While Cats fans do come in all ages, the super fans tend to be aged 40 plus and remember the original West End and Broadway versions. Another part of the show's appeal is that there are so many characters for audiences to relate to. And for most fans of the show, the fact that it is so weird, so removed from reality, is not a bug, but a feature.
The magic don't be star, holy.
In his New York Times review of Cats, Frank Rich wrote that despite its flaws, the reason people will hunger to see Cats is that it's a musical that transports the audience into a complete fantasy world that could only exist in theater.
Meow.
Rich added some 40 years later, "It is not fun to watch a great magician on television. You have stagecraft. There are things in the theater that are very hard to translate to film." And once again, we circle back to that question of, but why though?
What's a Jellicle cat? What's a Jellicle cat?
Steven Spielberg and Amblin Entertainment reached out to work with Andrew Lloyd Webber on an animated version in 1989. Spielberg's vision was to be set in a dark World War II era London and to be somewhat Brechtian in tone, which, okay. The concept art that has been released is actually pretty cool, and as is the case with most musicals, an animated adaptation makes way more sense than the Nietzschean horror that we eventually got. But ultimately, between production delays, squabbles about the screenplay, and how to create an actual plot, and the failure of Amblin's other animated films like An American Tail, Fievel Goes West, We're Back, A Dinosaur Story, and Balto, the studio shut down in 1997 and ended any hope of the animated film coming to fruition. A multi-camera version of the stage show was filmed and released in 1998, shortening the musical and adding new elements like force lightning. So this should be good enough. We have this. We don't need a live-action movie. And of all of the musicals to adapt, it makes the most sense that Cats had evaded adaptation for so long, despite its popularity. Universal bought the film rights to Cats sometime after the Amblin production folded, and it kind of existed in that development hell limbo ever since. Lloyd Webber kind of hinted at something being in the works as early as 2013, but we didn't see movement until about 3 years later. So what happened in that time?
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
Well, Greatest Showman came along and made $500 million worldwide. Obviously, I'm not Mr. Universal, but we can surmise that Mr. Universal saw the long in development Cats project and thought, hey, Let's give that the go-ahead and then we too can make $500 million. And while we're there, let's attach to it the last guy who won a bunch of Oscars for a musical. That's the ticket, $500 million and Oscars. Everybody wins.
The fun part is, like, I enjoy Les Miserables, don't get me wrong. I like it. But, again, we'll learn more when we get to Sideways' videos, which, like, I've been back and forth on whether I want to watch them or not, because, like, obviously, it has a lot to do with music. And music is one of those things that is most often dinged for copyright, you know? But he does have a video where he talks quite a bit about Les Mis, and again, like, largely problems that, surprise, were the result of one Timothy Hooper, director, and whatever the fuck else he did. He usually has multiple roles in every movie he does. But yeah, Tom Hooper, like, I don't know, maybe he's a nice guy, but he doesn't know how to make musical movies like the way they should be made. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be mean, but, like, dude. You're recording the vocals before the actual music itself. Like, that's not how this works.
So, it does kind of feel like we're missing a step here, that a prestige musical adaptation equals Oscar bait de facto. For most of the early history of the Academy Awards, musicals were a major presence, if for no other reason that in the early days of talkies, musicals just made up a much larger proportion of films that got made. But as we covered in the episode about road shows, the big studio musical was kind of on its way out in the 1960s in favor of more heady experimental cinema. But then we had a couple of big hits and, more importantly, big Oscar winners in the form of Mary Poppins and The Sound of Music. So that created a sort of boom and bust for the musical as an awards darling, but also for the movie musical in general. After Hello Dolly was a critical and commercial failure, the Hollywood musical was kind of dead for a while. So after that you had movies like Cabaret, which, while unlike big studio musicals in most regard, did win a bunch of Oscars, but that was kind of the end of the era of musicals as Oscar darlings. You'd have your Greases, your Little Shops, but they were more like popcorn movies. They weren't awards bait, and musicals mostly moved into animation. Hell, the next musical after Cabaret and All That Jazz in the 70s, both directed by Bob Fosse, to get nominated for Best Picture was Disney's Beauty and the Beast. So fast forward to 2001, where we are still firmly in the musicals equals popcorn movies mindset.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Moulin Rouge was not designed to be an Oscar movie. It was designed for Baz Luhrmann's Romeo plus Juliet, made a bunch of money, and he has a budget now, so let's just let him do whatever he wants. And Moulin Rouge is an even bigger hit than Romeo plus Juliet.
Outside it may be raining, but in here it's entertaining.
Now, Moulin Rouge came out around the end of May, but like Greatest Showman, it had really good legs. And by the time award season comes around, it's still in theaters, so Fox was like, hey, let's just go ahead and do a 4-year consideration campaign, and boom, Best Picture nominee. Who would have ever thought?
Everything's going so well!
This sets the stage for the already in development Chicago, itself fueled by Harvey Weinstein's 4-year consideration campaigns of attrition.
Ew, Harvey
and not
Weinstein,
only does Chicago
gross.
win Best Picture, but 5 other awards in 2003, the first musical to win Best Picture since Oliver in 1968. Now, 2 things here. One is that adaptations of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musicals have historically not yielded very good results.
Huh?
Either commercially or with regard to awards. I mean, don't get me wrong, they try. The most successful to date is the 1996 film adaptation of Evita starring Madonna and Antonio Banderas, which, while not an Oscar darling, despite winning Best Original Song, it did win a bunch of Golden Globes, including Actress for Madonna and Best Motion Picture, Musical, or Comedy. Then, of course, there's Phantom of the Opera, which was also released in the thick of award season with high hopes. It did have a pretty aggressive 4-year consideration campaign, and it did yield a couple of Oscar nominations, including, bewilderingly, cinematography. For more on why that is terrible, watch the video I made on why it is terrible.
This is the point of no return!
Second is that Cats is not structured like a Hollywood screenplay. even in relation to other Andrew Lloyd Webber shows, which do tend to have, like a plot. So right off the bat, even in comparison to projects like Phantom of the Opera or Evita, with Cats, they are starting at a huge disadvantage, which I suspect Mr. Universal knew for a long time, considering how long it took them to get Cats out of development hell. How do you give this thing the structure of a Hollywood movie while also keeping it recognizably Cats?
I can dance how he dances too.
Let me see.
Who is she talking to in the shot?
Easy.
Well, apparently you don't. So it wasn't just the
Jesus
incredible,
Christ.
unexpected success of Greatest Showman, it was also who directed the film.
Nobody thought so much shit through. Like, literally, she's talking to someone who's supposed to be, behind a street lamppost? Words are hard. Yeah, she's talking to some unseen, heretofore unheard person behind a lamppost. Why? Who thought that bit was a good idea? Probably Tom Hooper. All problems, no matter what they are, in life, not just with musicals, can be traced back to Tom Hooper. I am sure of it.
And I am absolutely 100% positive that Tom Hooper would never have been attached to Cats if the song Memory was not Cats' biggest staple. Ignoring Universal's aggressive For Your Consideration campaign for Les Miserables, a movie which proved that musicals can still be Oscar darlings even into the 2010s, most point to Anne Hathaway's rendition of I Dreamed a Dream as the thing that clinched her an Oscar win.
It came true.
So attaching Hooper to Cats was a no-brainer. Cats has the big Oscar-winning ballad, Les Mis has the big Oscar-winning ballad, it's some synergy.
There are dreams that cannot be.
But Les Miserables was a harbinger of things to come, and for every truly bewildering decision that Hooper made in Cats, the warning signs were always there. When philosopher and media theorist Marshall McLuhan famously said, "The medium is the message," what did he mean by that? Simplistically, it's the idea that you can only receive an idea or a story through a medium, be that medium a poem, a novel, a film, a stage show, or even just the act of talking.
Zip zip, toop toop.
It is not the idea or story itself that is being expressed, but a medium that is expressing it. Therefore, the medium should be the focus of study. According to theater scholar Linda Hutchin, while no medium is inherently good at doing one thing and not another, each medium, like each genre, has different means of expression and so can aim at certain things better than others. So let's look at Les Miserables as a case study. You have Victor Hugo's novel Les Miserables, you have the PBS Masterpiece miniseries starring Dominic West and David Oyelowo, and you have the Boublil and Schoenberg stage musicals.
This woman leaves behind a suffering child. There is none but me who can intercede.
3 different mediums telling the same story. But owing to difference in medium, they tell them in very different ways that are designed, first and foremost, to fit their respective medium. So what can
Gosh, I
often
wonder
happen
who the
when you have
favorite actor
someone
is.
schooled in one medium who is suddenly having to figure out how to most effectively do another, that can lead to some dissonance.
I think what I was trying to achieve was a combination of extreme realism so that the film would feel rooted in a visceral reality, but also allowing a certain heightening of reality.
We saw this in Phantom of the Opera, directed by Joel Schumacher, where there's a lot of little things that just show him trying to make it less of a musical, like having them speak singing lines that don't make sense to speak sing.
But why is it secret? What have we to hide?
And then having Butler scream half his lines instead of singing them.
Curse you! You little lying Delilah!
And this, of course, works both ways.
Bloom goes so far, camera right.
The producers, the 2005 film, was directed by Susan Stroman, who also directed the Broadway stage show. The producer shows us what it's like when a stage director is uncomfortable working in the format of film. People who've never seen this show but did see the movie, an adaptation which is faithful to a fault because it's basically just the stage show, are like, that's it? That's the winningest, Toniest show ever?
There.
But this film version is emblematic of how medium matters. So much that worked on the stage and led the producers to win the most Tonys of any musical by a single production in history just didn't translate to film.
Fat! Fat! I'm not that fat. Fat!
Quoting film scholar Robert Stamm, film clearly has resources that the stage can never have. The power of the close-up that gives the microdrama of the human countenance and the separate soundtracks of film that permit voiceovers, music, and the non-vocal to intermingle. Linda Hutchin adds, and when we sit quiet and still in the dark watching real live bodies on the stage, our kind of identification is different from when we sit in front of a screen and have their reality mediated for us by technology. So live theater naturally requires way more suspension of disbelief than film does. You are in the same room with these people. You have to applaud after every musical number. You can see the sets. You can see that the snow isn't real. The actors are probably pantomiming like half of a set that isn't there. But the medium of film works against that necessary suspension of disbelief.
I'd rather just sing.
Stop that. You're not going into a song while I'm here.
And must be adjusted for with stylism. That's why musicals tend to work better as animated movies than live-action movies. An animated movie requires more suspension of disbelief because this isn't real. It's a drawing.
Why was everyone singing? We've just got a song in our hearts!
And therefore it fits more easily with the requirements of believing that these characters might suddenly just burst into song.
How is it you all know the words? Did you rehearse?
Yeah, every Thursday. Didn't you see the flyers?
Of course, film directors do sometimes figure out ways to bridge this gap gracefully. Chicago springs to mind. It manages to work with the realism of the tone while incorporating the more theatrical framing, all while making it work within its own internal logic. And sometimes other musicals just don't care about how realistic or not the framing is.
Your pork is ready.
And they just don't bother caring about that. The Mamma Mias are a good example. They are not going for high art, and that's fine. But part of the tilt toward realism in film is because the Academy tends to reward a more realistic style. Not always, but overall. And for those of you out there who argue that Tom Hooper's style is actually kind of weird, strange angles and lots of dead space of exposed brick and wallpaper does not an unrealistically styled film make. Yes, Hooper does use a lot of unsettling visual language, and I'll get to that in a minute, but that doesn't mean that groundedness and realism isn't ultimately what he's going for. So in addition to a sort of stylistic discomfort with musicals in general, there's also incentive to make the visual style of the film more realistic. So his proclivity for dragging the medium of the musical kicking and screaming into the style of realism preferred by the Oscars, it was only a matter of time before he slipped into the uncanny valley. So the tactic with Les Mis' visual language was, in part, visual realism. But in addition to that, in order to make it feel more immediate and more realistic, Hooper also elected to use set sound, recording the actors as they sang. Rather than the more traditional way of doing it by having the actors sing along to playback. Hooper went to very great lengths to make the performance feel more authentic.
By recording it live, Tom is allowing us the spontaneity of normal film acting.
And it was a great gimmick to sell to Academy voters. So the medium of musical theater, which in the case of Les Mis and Cats requires the cast to be singing the whole time, already requires a much higher degree of suspension of disbelief than film does. And not just realistic, actively at war with the big emotions of the music. You have extreme close-ups constantly for 3 hours on actors who are singing songs designed to play to cheap seats. Well, he did. Les Mis is bad, but it won some awards. So even though the main impact of that movie is in Le Javert memes,
My name is Josh Van Josh. And I'm Josh Bear.
The formula, according to Universal, appears to be Tom Hooper plus beloved classic musical equals profit. So that's how we got here.
Meow.
Let's see what we got.
I don't know what I expected.
Although I will attempt to find rationale, if not reason, in the film version of Cats, there are many bewildering choices that I can only attribute to Hooperian whimsy. From horny Judi Dench scissoring in delight after Gus the theater cat, to Jennifer Hudson spending most of her screen time in close-ups with her face covered in snot, to McCavity being played the way that he is.
Scary.
How do you manage to make Idris Elba unappealing?
And you know what? I'm gonna
Dab.
The aspect of the film
really
that drew
gotta
the most
try for
attention,
that,
positive
man.
and negative, after that first trailer was released was the uncanny valleyness of it all, which all goes back to Hooper's attempts to draw this weird, fantastical show back down to realism. Said Hooper in an interview for The Atlantic, "I wanted to keep it very grounded in the present moment. The thing I'm most proud of is that you feel grounded watching it. It's not that fantastical." Which, it's Cats, dude. Blame has been laid upon the visual effects team, which...
Nobody more than us understands the importance of good visual effects.
Okay, let's talk about that for a moment.
We've used digital fur technology to create the most perfect covering of fur.
So Hooper wanted the film to be grounded and not that fantastical, and part of that was wanting his actors to be X amount of unencumbered, and also to shoot on practical sets, a weird scale, so he elected that they should not use mocap suits. Despite the fact that the suits they did wear looked plenty ridiculous, allegedly, this is hearsay, no one has gone on the record to say this, Hooper didn't want his actors distracted or encumbered, so no mocap suits. So all of the digital fur technology had to be done manually, which not only ballooned the post-production budget, it massively increased the labor required to finish it. But after the trailer hit, allegedly, again, this is through my grapevine, Mr. Universal kind of panicked and slashed the funding going to post-production. And that, in part, is why you get these shots that look, well, kind of bad. And why you've got like these floating faces and why there are some shots that aren't even finished. So when you hear horror stories of the VFX team for Cats being underfunded and understaffed and overworked, allegedly, again, no one has gone on the record to discuss this in any meaningful detail because they don't lose their jobs, so this is all hearsay, this is the result. So the manually rotoscoped digital fur technology, the slashed budget, and Hooper's bizarre insistence on making changes up to the 11th hour, in part, leads us here. But even if it had gotten the time and money it needed, could this have worked visually? Would this have worked for audiences? Probably not. Hooper's dedication to making the movie feel grounded backfired horribly, no matter how much time the VFX team had. These decisions were all rooted in trying to bridge that realism gap, so much so that certain elements are somehow both overthought and underthought at the same time. The film's approach to the titular animal is both way more literal and way more dense at the same time. One wonders if any of these people have ever even seen a cat. Potted grass. The film adds way more literal cat things that aren't even there in the show, like their ears move around, they crawl around on all fours and paw at each other, they lap at things, and go meow, meow, meow. Gillian Lynn's choreography in the show is designed to be like more evocative of the idea of a cat, not a literal imitation of a cat. But here we are, not 10 minutes in, and we got a crotch-licking joke. I'm a kitty. Meow. Meow. And all this adds up to create a suspension of disbelief problem that isn't there in the musical. There are not humans in the musical, for instance, but here they are at the beginning of the film. We see them before we see any cats. Humans with their human bodies, throwing away a kitten in a bag, who also has a human body. But as in Les Mis, Hooper just doesn't seem comfortable or particularly interested in the medium of the musical. The breaking of the fourth wall, for instance, pretty common in musicals.
Are you blind when you're born?
We see this in Les Mis in a scene where, in the musical, Gavroche is addressing the audience.
How do you do? My name's Gavroche. These are my people. Here's my patch.
But we can't have that, so in the movie he addresses some random rich dude.
How do you do? My name's Gavroche. These are my people. Here's my patch.
But then in the following line he addresses the audience anyway, so...
There was a time we killed the king. We tried to change the world too fast.
Cats the musical breaks the fourth wall a lot more than Les Mis. The cats address the audience, they explain things to the audience, they interact with the audience physically, but we can't have that, so the movie gets around this by making Victoria the fish out of water. They explain the Jellicle thing to her instead of the audience. So cutting this...
Do I actually see with my own very eyes a man who's not heard of a Jellicle cat?
Sets up in the movie that fourth wall breaking is not a thing that is done here. Which, you know what? Fine. It's a movie, not a stage show. So then they hold to this change for the whole movie until the end when they have Dench address the camera for like 5 minutes straight.
You've heard
of several kinds of cats should and need no interpreter to understand that cats are very much like you. You've seen us both, our habits and our habitat. But how would you? So first, your memory. I'll say a cat is not a dog. With cats, some say one rule is true. A cat will condescend to treat you as spoken to.
Put me out of my misery.
I do
oh
not.
My God. This part is insane.
For a cat will condescend to treat you a dish of cream, or you might now and then, and so in time you'll reach your aim and call him by name.
Movie adaptations also often change the arrangements of the songs, which, again, fine. But in Cats, it just feels like Hooper did it because he was bored with them. The Rum Tum Tugger is one of the show's most high-energy numbers, and Derulo is actually a pretty good Rum Tum Tugger.
It's party time. With your permission.
Except for that accent. So why, God, why do we keep interrupting this number for Rebel Wilson's bad improv?
You think he just got neutered? Because those notes are like, oh.
In the very next scene, we interrupt Bustopher Jones for more Rebel Wilson shenanigans. Anyway, back to the song. Even during Skimbleshanks, the best number in the movie, a mouse yells, "Cats!" Like, yep, that's what we're watching. These things wouldn't be bad in and of themselves, except that they don't add anything. It's like he's breaking up the musical numbers because he feels like they're too boring to stand on their own without something to break them up.
I can dance how he dances too.
Let me see.
It's easy.
The filmmaker's discomfort/disinterest with the material expands beyond just the medium of the musical and the show that they're adapting itself. There's a patent rejection of anything non-heteronormative that's pretty overt to anyone familiar with the stage musical. There is a lot of no homo in this movie.
Romantical cats.
Yeah, God forbid that this guy be clocked as anything but the straightest manly man. It is often played in the musical that Mistopheles and Rum Tum Tugger have like a little something going on.
The Rum Tum Tugger is a terrible bore.
And we can't have that, so both of them get their no homo moments with Victoria. And Mistopheles gets it in the form of an all-out subplot.
I'm coming, Victoria!
For all the other terrible cat puns and figures of speech that they added in the movie, I'm surprised they didn't add something about how, like, Rum Tum Tugger loves da pussy.
Romantical cats.
Heterosexual cats, heterosexual cats, heterosexual cats. But if there's one scene that was always doomed to failure, or...
God damn, taking out the gay cats for Pride Month. Cats didn't come out on Pride Month. It came out at like around Christmas time. I don't even know when this video came out, but it's currently Pride Month right now. And they took out the gay cats and I'm upset about it.
Wild success depending on how you look at it. In anything live action or remotely realistic, it is the old Gumby cat sequence.
I have a Gumby cat in mind. Her name is Jenny Anydots.
Wherein we hear about the titular Gumby cat who lays around all day but at night teaches mice and other vermin to, like, you know, be upstanding members of society. The show accomplishes this with pantomime and props that are like, you know, garbage from the junkyard that the cats are hanging out in, made to look like, you know, mice. There are multiple times in the show where the cats pantomime other animals and objects, like mice and dogs and roaches and choo-choo trains, by appropriating trash and turning it into props and such. Now they could have done that, but realism. So instead we get this.
Dilly-dop, 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 wop-woo, dilly-dop, 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 wop-woo.
And it just keeps escalating and getting more and more horrifying.
Now for the icing on the cake.
I can't even make commentary on this, so I'm not gonna. Except, why, God, why did they give the mice children's faces?
Dinner and a show.
From the moment the trailer came out, my biggest question was how would they try to give Cats the shape of a Hollywood movie? I kind of deep down thought that they'd be smarter than that and just wouldn't bother. Like they'd just let it keep its review-like qualities and have it be something kind of disjointed in the vein of Fantasia. But wow, did they fly wildly in the other direction.
You can't be on a barge in the middle of the Thames. I'm supposed to be going to the ball.
Oh, no, you're not going anywhere, Puss in Boots.
Structuring the film with not one storyline from the musical on steroids, but two. The first is the enormously expanded part of Victoria, who's the protagonist now, and the emotional through line of Grizabella. A kitten with one brief dance solo in the show and no songs, the film gives her a little orphan abandoned in the world of the Jellicle Cats narrative and takes this moment from the stage show and makes it the emotional through line of the movie. And I'm not saying this is handled gracefully in the show, but the movie tries to bolster it, and in doing so, reveals the whole thing's weaknesses. It is distantly implied in the show, but stated outright in the movie. Why is Grizabella shunned by the other Jellicle Cats?
Who was she?
She used to be the star of the windmill.
Then she went with McCavity.
McCavity?
McCavity!
Trying to add a little more logic to her story is not the most counterintuitive change in the world, but it does conflict with the other big change they made. McCavity. McCavity is like an obstacle that shows up towards the end of the show. Like earlier some cats titter hearing about him, and then later he shows up, he kidnaps old Deuteronomy, they immediately undo it and no one ever speaks of it again. And again, I'm not saying that this is good. It is charitably flimsy, and McCavity is not really an antagonist, more of like a thing that happens. The tension of the story, if it can be said to have one, is just the question of who gets to die. Who gets to die the good death? McCavity in the show doesn't really care about this, but in the movie...
I'm determined to win, and I prefer my competition chained up.
Wow, it's his life's goal, that Heaviside layer. Why? Because. And then, as if all this doesn't make you want to crawl out of your skin enough.
The Napoleon of crime.
Okay, so McCavity is the color of Idris Elba. Like, couldn't they just make him like a black cat or give him some like stripes or something?
Can I also point out that there is literally a lyric that Taylor Swift sings where she says, McCavity is a ginger cat. And like, no offense to Idris Elba, he is indeed quite a beautiful specimen of a man, but he is not ginger in any way, shape, or form. Like, and it would be fine if they changed the line to something other than McCavity is a ginger cat, but no, they keep the line, but then make McCavity the same color as Idris Elba's skin tone. So it's words have meaning, Timothy Hooper. Tommy, my main man, just dude, brosif, I can't keep stopping to rant about this, or we're gonna be here literally all day.
I get that could be problematic, but I don't think that the only alternative is to tumble head over ass into the uncanny valley by creating a cat that's just the color of human skin, which is itself kind of revealing. Like, imagine if one of the white actors had the same treatment, just a cat the color of human skin. Would they have not caught this for the uncanny valley yikes that it is? So McCavity's function in the movie is to remove the other cats from the competition so he will be the Jellicle choice, despite the fact that he seems to be doing pretty well in this life, but whatever, he wants a new one. McCavity also serves the dual purpose of extracting your A-list celebrities who wanted to be in the movie but didn't want to be on set for more than 3 days. McCavity! So he ferrets his kidnapped celebrity cats, and also Skimbleshanks, to a boat which is manned by Ray Winstone, who is also a cat. And despite Macavity's magical powers, once they, I don't know, get bored of being tied up with a large chain, they escape easily, they get back just in time for memory, and then this happens. Anyway, so when Grizabella shows up at the end after the whole boat fight, it's like, well, the movie's already had its climax. We got old Dude back, why are we still here? Oh right, the Heaviside Layer, the big climax. Making the Macavity subplot more of a focus leads to the resolution of that subplot getting way more screen time and involving way more characters. And it gives it the feel of the climax of the movie, but it's not. Memory is the climax, so the film builds in a new climax on the boat.
Well, Tiger, make her walk the plank.
While also keeping the original one. Jennifer Hudson is such a good singer that, like, I've never not watched this scene and gotten chills.
Same. Literally the only good part of the movie. Skimbleshanks!
Like, the arrangement and mixing are so good that even in the 2 rowdy screenings I've gone to, the audience reverently listens to this bit. The plot was always paper thin and flimsy, and it was that by design, but the film doesn't make the plot, such as it were, less flimsy, it just creates more of it, and more nonsense that the film obligates itself to explain, because we have committed ourselves to the style of realism and logic. But ultimately, if you want to ask the question of why Cats is the way it is, Cats is the story of hubris. Awards hubris, celebrity hubris, director hubris, just good old-fashioned hubris. Like Les Mis, they wanted to have an all-star cast. But Cats is a terrible thing to adapt for big stars because, unlike Les Mis, it requires its cast to more or less be on stage the whole time, as opposed to Les Mis where you can have Anne Hathaway for her 20 minutes of award-winning screen time, and then she's out for the rest of the movie. Cats is not designed like this. You're either a cat that has a solo or a cat that is in the ensemble, but you're on stage more or less the whole time. Most of the songs don't have the cat singing about themselves, but another cat doing the singing.
Gus is the cat at the theater door.
The movie changes this by having them half the time just singing about themselves.
Gus is the cat at the theater door.
Gus the theater cat, Buster Jones, and especially the old Gumby cat come to mind as songs that were changed to give the stars more screen time.
Don't get cocky.
Because they certainly were not changed because the arrangement was better. And wow, did they fuck up the old Gumby cat by giving this song.
When the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work is but honey begun.
To Rebel Wilson, who is not only not a great singer,
when the day's hustle and bustle is done, then the Gumby cat's work.
It also mixes a 3-part harmony. Because if you want Rebel Wilson in this movie for 20 minutes, she got to get her a solo. Or in the case of Macavity, they take a duet and make it a solo, because Taylor Swift is not sharing the stage, my friends. So what do we do with a bunch of celebrities that want solos and want to be in the movie, because it's got the awards guy attached to it, see, so it's gonna win awards, but they don't wanna, be on set for more than like 3 days. Corden's got his talk show to work around, Taylor Swift's on tour, you know what, we can't be bothered by being on set for more than 3 days. Well, how about Macavity kidnaps the A-listers?
Ineffable.
This not only solves our problem of not really having a threat or tension, it also means that we have a real solid good reason for these people not being in the background, when they are not the center of attention. So not only do we now have a lazy reason to get our A-listers who don't want to be in the background out of the movie, we also made the movie worse. Go team. A no awards hubris musical would be complete without the unnecessary new song.
But at least you have beautiful ghosts.
This one's called Beautiful Ghost. It was co-written by Taylor Swift and Andrew Lloyd Webber.
You can't write a modern lyric for Cats. So, if you can't get T.S. Eliot, get T.S.
And it, like all of these musical numbers added to the movie to win an award, is completely unnecessary and totally grinds the movie to a halt, more than it already was.
So I'll dance with these beautiful ghosts.
If Francesca Hayward sounds kind of unsure, it's because she doesn't really know the song, because they more or less finished it like the day of.
We were just rushing. We had written it the day before. I came in and we had the sheet music made up and...
Like an hour or two before they shot it.
It's a dreadful day.
Terrible.
Taylor Swift over here looking at Lady Gaga, Oscar winner, like, I want that. One step closer to EGOT.
And her singing it got us a Golden Globe nomination.
Wow.
So what, in the end, is the fallout of Cats? Are we gonna have a bunch of Cats copycats? Is Cats gonna be like the Sharknado of musicals? Well, I doubt it. First of all, Cats is kind of one of a kind. It was a massive, massive loss. And despite the fact that it's probably going to be the new darling of midnight screenings and supplant the likes of Rocky Horror in the Room with its cult following,
Hi, doggy.
these are not the tracks that any other studios are going to want to follow in. But I have heard some concern that this might kind of be the end of musical movies. In an Entertainment Weekly article, conflicted theater fan Mark Snideker wrote,
Way to go, Tom
I
Hooper.
fear a similar turmoil that happened in the 80s may occur again, because Cats is, at its core, a musical that confirms for people who hate musicals why they hate musicals. But though we did not ask for it, though we are not responsible
Tom
for
Hooper
it,
went
though
and
we
killed
need not
musical
answer for it,
movies.
I believe theater fans must not abandon Cats. Because as much as we may hate it, we can't deny that we care about it. You care about it.
But how would you address a cat?
Here is the thing. Some musicals, not all, but most of them require a visual medium that jives with the way that the musical itself is constructed. Les Miserables was constructed for the stage. Cats was constructed for the stage. That is the thing about theater, especially in a show like Hamilton, which basically has no props, let alone a set. It is constructed so that the audience has to imagine what's going on in the story. Overcoming that suspension of disbelief is built into the design of the medium, in a way that it is not with film. But your traditional Oscar bait movie does not allow for that. Oscar bait movies demand visual realism, and it's very rare that something actually gets rewarded for being stylistic. It happens, but the Academy prefers gritty realism right now. That's just how it is. To this idea that there might be a backlash against musical films, that Cats might be the end of Hollywood taking musicals seriously, to that I say, good. Good f***ing riddance, Tom Hooper and your musical awards bait bullshit. Popular musical being adapted to films because Oscar bait is a disease. The only way movies like this work is either through hyper-stylization in the vein of decent films like Moulin Rouge or Chicago, or animation, which likewise can rise visually to the magical unrealism inherent to the medium of musicals. But gritty realism? Oscar bait? No thank. Like, I love Hamilton, but Hamilton the movie?
I will kill your friends and family.
Please no. Yes, I will gladly take your live recording that you filmed 5 years ago and won't release till next year. I will take it. But the Oscar bait musical, the adaptation for adaptation's sake, let it burn. Musical theater right now is kind of in a new golden age. It is doing just fine, and it does not need legitimacy from Hollywood. We do not need film adaptations of musicals just because it's brand name recognition, just because Chicago won a bunch of Oscars. So if Cats marks a demarcation where musicals aren't being adapted for the screen anymore, good. I don't want Hadestown the movie. Super do not want Hamilton the movie. If you watch any one of these amateur animatics on YouTube, I promise you they work way better than anything Tom Hooper has ever done. So thank you, Cats. Thank you not only for being the true embodiment of modern horror, a monument to celebrity hubris, but also for ending this nonsense of bad musical adaptations with aggressive for your consideration campaigns and Oscar dreams. Wow, we don't need it. Just save everybody a lot of heartache and money and just film the damn thing. Cats 98 will always be there, but Cats 2019 is a cautionary tale of a completely different sort.
Someone is smoking over there.
Something we cats would never do.
Filling their lungs with thick, dark hair.
What a disgusting thing to do.
Cats have 9 lives with 8 to spare. Humans have 1.
With none to barter.
Why do they smoke?
Why don't they care?
Humans are smart, but cats are smarter.
Listen to cats, you men and women. Take care of your lungs.
They're only human.
The American Lung Association, the Christmas Seal people.
An accident!
An accident!
An accident! The humans had an accident!
There was a child in the car.
A child! A child?
A child?
A child.
Cats have 9 lives.
If y'all, that's been a running joke on my channel for a good bit, where I'm just randomly like, a child? This is where it comes from. Lore!
Children only one. Help them live that life. Buckle them into a car seat. No one wants a child to become a memory.
Memory all alone in the moonlight.
Thank you, Buford.
Ah, no! No, we're not watching Titanic now. Okay, hold up. Okay. So I think that will, in fact, for real this time, do it for me today. Okay, let me, where's the music? There's music. Okay. So, I think that is a good spot to end off. We did more co-working than we did games, but you know what, it's fine. Anyway, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow for more Ultimate Modded Skyrim, and then Sunday for our season finale of Ultimate Modded Stardew Valley. I appreciate y'all so very much for hanging out with me, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it may be for you. And until next time, I will see you folks later. Bye-bye!
Although it looked innocent enough, this machine turned out to have some unusual powers. It kept kids mesmerized for hours.